Hola from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm here for a few days after finishing the O circuit in Patagonia. So I thought while I was here, I would just show you around a little bit at the things that I'm doing. I'm definitely no Buenos Aires expert. This is only my first day here, but I'm doing some fun stuff. So I thought that I would bring you along a little bit just in case you're interested. I've heard several people say that Buenos Aires is one of their favorite cities in the whole entire world, so obviously I've been pumped to check it out. I'm staying in the Puerto Madero area, which is a revamped dockside area, and our Airbnb is overlooking the canal. Actually, sorry, it's a river, but there's a canal on the other side of the building. This is the Rio de la Plata. First up, a quick breakfast at Tortoni. My portion of this cost me about $7 American. Right now we're checking out the ecological reserve in the city, and it is so cool. There are so many birds. We saw a monitor lizard. It's so green. There's so many trees. It's pretty magical for being in the middle of a big city. I love finding all of the greenest spaces in cities, and this did not disappoint. The reserve is huge. It's 350 hectares, and it runs the length of the Puerto Madero neighborhood where I stayed in Buenos Aires. It's full of birds and other wildlife, and you can take a long walk there or a bike ride, see lots of flowers. It's just a really beautiful, peaceful, really cool space. More than 2,000 species of flora and fauna live here, and apparently about 350 species of birds have been spotted here. The space was declared a nature reserve in 1986. One of our taxi drivers told us that November is the best month to visit Buenos Aires, especially because of the blooming jacarandas throughout the city. Jacarandas are these beautiful purple flowering trees. I've seen them in other countries, and I've always been awed by them every time I've seen them. By the way, this is the Rio de la Plata, and it runs through the Puerto Madero neighborhood. I've also noticed that there is a ton of art around this neighborhood. Okay, so here's something a bit strange about Argentina that I learned today. There's something crazy going on with their currency. I'm not an economist. Just putting that out there right now, not a finance expert. I just learned about this today, but there's something going on with their currency where they have really high inflation. So their dollar, the value of their dollar, their peso, has been plummeting. And when you come to Argentina and you want to get Argentinian pesos, the only way to get a decent rate is apparently to go through these cambio people on Florida Street. It's probably like Florida or something, I don't know, but it's spelled like Florida, the state. You go to the street and these people will yell out, "Cambia, cambia," and then you have to go with them to like a dark room somewhere or the back of a flower shop or something very shady like that, and then you exchange your dollars that way instead of exchanging them at a legitimate like money exchange place. And you get like a much better exchange rate exchanging your dollars for pesos if you do it that way. It's way better than like the official rate. And they're very particular about the money they want. They especially want crisp, new $100 bills. So check out this fat stack of cash that I got today. That's the equivalent of about 125 US dollars. It like barely even fits in my little wallet. But I would like to put a warning out there. You have to watch out for smooth talking, entertaining, good looking Argentinian men who bring you to like the 4th floor of an office building in a back room, because 2 of my friends got scammed. So I didn't, luckily. I went to the back of a flower shop and everything worked out fine. And I got the rate that I was supposed to get, whatever. But 2 of my friends went with this shady Argentinian character who was very charismatic and smooth and like showed us videos of like him going to football games and like his wife on his phone. And first of all, they took one of my friend's $20 bills when she wasn't looking, and then they were like, no, you didn't have $210, this is only $190. So that was the first thing. And then they wouldn't let her count the money where we were. There were like cameras in the hallway, and they were like, no, you can't do that because of the cameras. And so she wasn't able to like count the money right then and there. And later when she was able to count it, she realized instead of having like $190 worth of money, she only had $135 worth of money. And same thing happened to my other friend. They didn't steal any of her money right off, but she was supposed to get like $100 worth of money, and she only got $50-something worth of money. So just be very, very careful when you're dealing with the money exchange in Buenos Aires or probably elsewhere in Argentina as well. By the way, the better exchange rate is called the blue dollar rate, and this is how everyone exchanges money. I guess the more legit way to do it would be by going through Western Union, but I guess Western Union often has big lines, and sometimes they run out of money and there's like a fee to exchange your money. So this is the far more popular way to do it, is going through these like backdoor money exchange places. But if you do that, just make sure you are very, very careful and make sure, first of all, that they don't scam you out of your American dollars to begin with, and then that you actually get the amount of Argentinian pesos that you're supposed to get. Count the money right then and there. Don't leave until you count the money. And yes, good luck. Good luck. I'm gonna buy my friends a drink tonight. I feel really bad for them. Bummer. Scammed on our first day in Buenos Aires. Oh, but if you want a closer look at my pesos, it's pretty wild. Like, look at all that. I feel rich for the first time in my life. Don't worry, I won't get too used to it. Everyone loves the architecture in Buenos Aires, and I can definitely see why. Aren't these buildings pretty? Though you won't see this video for a while, tonight is Thanksgiving, so we're going to a fancy restaurant. Welcome to Puerto Cristal. This is a 5-star restaurant that overlooks the canal and is in our neighborhood. I try to be really thrifty with my money at home, so I don't usually get to do this kind of thing, so this was especially fun. Argentina is known for their Malbec, so of course we had to get a bottle. I treated my friends to the wine since they had a bad day getting scammed. For my appetizer, I got a really fresh and delicious salad, and it had my favorite thing on it, beets. For my main course, I got a mushroom and sun-dried tomato risotto, which was so buttery and rich and delicious. And then for dessert, I got one of my very favorite desserts, which is tiramisu. It was all delicious. The next morning, we checked out Boria for breakfast. Argentinians are apparently as into sweets as I am, and every place we went had a big selection of sweet treats. The food tour of Buenos Aires continues. This morning we're eating breakfast at Boria in the Palermo neighborhood. Here's what I got. I started with a croissant with eggs, avocado, and cherry tomatoes. I'm also a huge coffee girl, so I got an iced vanilla latte as well. So this is apparently a typical Argentinian dessert. This cookie, it's got caramel in the middle, and it's so sweet and so good, and just the right texture of the cookie. It's like a shortbread. Yum. Here's a closer look at the cookie. This is known as an alfajore. By the way, everything I had in this breakfast was really tasty and delicious. After breakfast, we decided to check out the El Ateneo bookstore, which used to be an opera house. In 2019, National Geographic named it the world's most beautiful bookstore. It's easy to see why. Most of the books are in Spanish, but there is an English section as well. I was tickled by seeing all of the Harry Potter books in Spanish. It's definitely the most beautiful bookstore that I've ever been to, and it reminded me why I love going to bookstores, even though I couldn't read most of the books in there. Next up, everyone says that you must visit the cemetery in Buenos Aires, so here we are. This is a cool gate. Check out these cobwebs. I would not normally be very interested in going to a cemetery, but this is really interesting actually. Some of these tombs are so big and the different families have them decorated in different ways. Like, it's actually really, really interesting. Some of these are so elaborate, it's pretty crazy. So fancy. Next up, the Eco Park, which is a free zoo in the city. That was more than enough death for the day. So here we are in the land of the living at the zoo. This is the Patagonian Mara. It's a rodent native to Patagonia, and these guys are just roaming around freely. I know that zoos can be sad too, but a lot of these animals are not caged. These peacocks are everywhere, and there's some of the animals that are not caged, and they're just climbing on things and calling really, really loudly. They kind of sound like babies. And here are some more maras. Moss might have seen some of these in Patagonia. Right near the zoo is the free botanical gardens, so of course we had to check that out as well, because as I mentioned, I have to see all of the green spaces that I possibly can in every city that I go to. Seems like a really lovely place to come sit out and chill out and maybe read a book. Look at this beautiful tree. It smells amazing too. We saw this plant at the Ecological Reserve and it smells amazing. There's a tropical house, but it's closed. We can't go in there. I think this is aloe, and it's the biggest aloe plant I've ever seen. There are so many benches here. I would definitely come here to read if I lived here. These are so neat. Rockhound mentioned that he thinks that bats love these flowers, and I can definitely see that. Okay, we did a lot today. I'm super tired, but I wanted to show you guys the nighttime view from our balcony before I go off to sleep. Look how beautiful this is. And the next morning, a quick brunch at Tienda de Cafe. This whole breakfast cost me only like $3.50. Day 3 in Buenos Aires, and we are about to do some mate tastings. Very exciting. We heard about this place, Matea, from a couple of people that we met on Glacier Gray, and they highly recommended the mate tasting to us. I love tea, and I like mate, so I thought that it would be fun since that's something from this region. Not only are we tasting the mate, but we're actually learning how to properly prepare the mate as well. We learned that mate is really a drink for sharing. So even if you're the one preparing it, you're often going to be sharing that mate that you prepare with other people. It seems like it's a drink with a lot of traditions around it, and you're supposed to use these special glasses and thermoses and straws to prepare it. And our instructor told us that she drinks it a ton. It's like a very, very normal part of society here. We got to try several kinds, and this is one that I did really like, the chips coconut. Overall, it was a really fun experience, and I definitely feel like I learned a lot. For our final stop before heading to the airport, we're stopping by the La Boca neighborhood. This neighborhood is known for being really colorful, having a lot of arts and crafts, and just general touristy things to buy. Welcome to La Boca. Moss and I have gotten very into the empanadas, so we just got some more. Yum. This veggie and empanada Yeah, that was only 80 cents. Not bad. Steal of a deal. If you're looking for kitschy tourist gifts, this is the place for you. If you don't like crowds, this is not the place for you. Very successful trip to Buenos Aires. This is a really cool city. There's a ton to do. We felt very safe here. The architecture is awesome. The food is awesome. It's definitely a city I wouldn't mind coming back to and spending a few more days in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching my Buenos Aires video. Make sure you subscribe for more hiking, backpacking, outdoor, and occasional travel content, and I'll see y'all later.